songs like Frontin', Grinding with Clips, Gwen Stefani, Holla Back Girl, Snoop Dogg, Drop It Like It's Hot, Nelly, Hot in Here, or her, Justin Timberlake, Senorita, along with other tracks from him. Some music by Britney Spears, I'm a Slave for You. All of these major artists that were coming up, songs for Usher, Khalees, the Milkshake song, even songs with Beyonce, Destiny's Child, LL Cool J, Robin Thicke. I mean, the list just goes on and on for the people that he worked with, Madonna. So this is one of the things that sparked my interest about this documentary, because when it came out piece by piece, it's like, oh, this is a Pharrell story. He has a lot of hit songs that I really loved as a young person, and we're kind of in the same era. I guess he could be my big brother, so to speak. But enjoy these songs, and I was like, oh, this is something interesting looking thing I'd like to watch. Not a big Lego movie person, but I will watch it. But he said, okay, I'm gonna make my story by Legos. I was like, well, this is pretty exciting and a little different, and the trailer looked good. So it took me a while to actually watch it. I recently watched it, and I know it's been out for some time, but it was a really good. I just wanted to give him a nod, just celebrate him and his music, because that was my era, that was my time. He's still making hits today, a lot of the stuff he does, and I think he's been pretty successful more recently with children's films and animated work. So I feel like this was a good marriage of two different genres when it comes to his music, his story, and the whole Lego animated world. And so it was a great film, and it got a lot of love. I look back, it got a lot of love when it came out. It did pretty well. I feel like I didn't hear of as much of it as maybe I thought I should have, especially after watching it. I was just really thought it was a great story and a great way to tell a story. And it made it less talking heads. If you guys have ever seen documentaries before, a lot of times it's just talking heads going from person to person that has accounts of different things that happen. And then they may have some old throwback clips, and it was just so much more creative the way that this was put together, and it was explored different themes, different things he was going through, and we could see it in different ways. It even almost made me feel like a music video as well as the way the story was told. But we find out also that he has a neurological condition called synesthesia, where his senses are involuntary unified. I think he sees colors when he hears sounds. And this condition was the basis for the Nerd album Sing Sound. So he's had the group Nerd. He's one part of the group, the production team of the Neptunes, Chad Hugo and himself, Pharrell Williams. And so has some of his background, some of the tracks he's done. He's just always kind of been unique and out of the box in this film, and the way it's done and put together. And the medium he uses is just kind of an homage to his style and what he has brought to the music world and the entertainment world, going from making music for artists, pop culture, hip hop, and crossing over to making music for movies and films. Even at some point, he even talks about activism for the black community. Um, so he's kind of had a connection with a lot of different things that I feel that we can all kind of have a connection with as well. In my eyes, I feel like he's used this medium in order to connect and relate to young people and make them hopeful, because his story was one that's hopeful. His story is one that many artists have had, but I mentioned he has the synesthesia, um, and he also did not do very well in school. He was kind of disconnected there, and getting in the band and starting with music and meeting Chad Hugo, and then both having a unique take on music kind of opened the doors and sparked something in him. And it's kind of like he found his place when he was out of place everywhere else. He grew up in the projects. His grandmother was always rooting him on and saw something beautiful in him. She knew that something great was going to happen for him in his life. And it was a great story. And that was a great part, to have someone there to uplift him. And who doesn't like grandma? So all of that's a part of his story. And also, just like many rock star stories, he works in the entertainment industry. He's worked with many rock stars. He's even been in tracks with them, and he's even done his own music. There's ups and downs, ebbs and flows. There's things where, you get so high and so big off of this music thing, and then you get kind of sucked in by the drugs, alcohol, women, making more money, could be some illegal things. It's like, the rise and fall of an entertainer. And a lot of times they're able to get back up on their feet and realize their dream. And there are times when some don't even make it and get caught up in that world. And so Pharrell kind of had his own similar story, but I don't know if it was partially due to, I feel like he wanted this story to be, even though I don't see it being a straight up story for kids, to me, a lot of it felt kind of family friendly for me, even though it still was edgy enough for all audiences and adult audiences. But, he talks about when he met his wife, and she was saying there was a lot of women around him, but there was not a lot of talk about, those type of Hollywood parties that we hear about. He didn't share a lot of that. And they actually had some of the real artists he worked with as Legos, and many of them said he was different. He didn't fit into the hip hop world really. He had a different style. But they kind of were like cheering him on and like, you are different. But he's kind of like their little, maybe lucky charm, or their little brother that they're trying to protect. So they saw something in his uniqueness and his style and his difference, and they tried to foster something in that. And he also kind of, to me, made people maybe in the hip hop world see things from a different perspective, maybe be a little bit more open minded to differences. Him growing up in the area he did, he didn't do what you would say so called typical black things. He skateboards and all of this. And he was like the little black skateboard kid, but he wasn't in the mindset of thinking that way. He just was doing what he connected with. He was never really boxed in like we box ourselves in society generally. But I think that's a beautiful gift. And even when his music, he branched out and worked with different artists outside of the hip hop world, and himself, as well as his friend Chad Hugo, which is also a part of the team. But yeah, this is kind of his story. And then, his downfall wasn't really the women or the drugs. Who's to say he didn't try some of that? Maybe he's something he did not want to share in the movie. I'm sure he may have tried it, but that wasn't really the crux of his story or even his downfall. His downfall was that he felt like he could do no wrong after hit after hit after hit, after all this love and praise for years and years and years. He kind of lost touch with his gift. He lost touch with the people. He became so high, he became above what the people wanted. He disconnected. And then he started to do kind of what the industry was wanting him to do, what the guys in black suits, so to speak, come and, try to control, say, you're going to be a hit, just do this, do this, do this. He kind of fell victim to the man and thought if he just continued in this way and did what industry standards, that he would be successful. But that was really his downfall, and he started to lose out on money, lose out on deals. People weren't connecting with him anymore. He wasn't able to make a hit to save his life. And it's really kind of a story of pride, where you just feel like you're on top of the world and nothing can knock you down. And he got a wake-up call that that wasn't the case. And so he was able to find his footing and uh, get his success back in different ways. He started working in the fashion world, and they were saying that he was kind of had his hand in too many boxes and too many things. And again, he kind of lost touch, and maybe he needs to be a person that kind of focuses, because once you get that stardom, everybody wants you to do their project and all of this. But he gained success in the fashion world, even so as well. He did diversify his talent, which is also, I think, something important that we do need to do, is to diversify our talent and just don't stay in one box. People were side-eyeing him for doing these different things, but he did gain some levels of success trying these different things. And he continued to just stay outside of the box that the world and the industry, even his culture and his community may try to impose on him. Then he started to be more mindful of his culture and community and all the struggles that we go through as people. Again, he came from a world where he didn't have much. He lost touch with that. He kind of reconnected with the fact that, there's issues in this world, struggles in this world that people are going through. He kind of tapped into that, and in a way, some of his music, I feel, spoke to that moment in time and spoke to those issues. And I think also because he now had a family, he was more thoughtful and more cognizant and aware of all of these things, because his children would have to grow up in this world. His children would have to deal with some of these issues. And he wanted to kind of champion those that were the underdogs. And of course, that's who he was, and that's how he came up as well. It was a great watch, and especially if you like his music, I would watch it again and again. It's something that never gets old. The story of how much he loved music and just all of these different things and the connections that we can have. Him being different and not fitting in, him finding his place in the music world, and even him having a level of pride that caused him to lose everything, but being able to humble himself enough, and God giving him more opportunities in the future to kind of get his footing back. It's a great story, a great watch, and one of the songs, Happy, which is to me very unique for him. He was doing a lot of hip hop love songs, that type of thing. But this song to me even had a churchy feel. People were just loving it from all all sides, and even the video they highlighted where it was all different types of people that were just dancing and happy about this song, and this it brought happiness to people in so many different ways. And it's definitely a mantra, and for some of us it's our theme song for life. So that was like a big highlight, and it also just kind of shows the way that we as people evolve into the next level of who we are, and the different connections we have to make over time, the changes in culture and the world we have to make those connections. And so it's an evolving story, just as our own stories are evolving as well. It was a lot of fun, and that's just really the takeaway that I want to end with, is that it was a lot of fun, and it was great to reminisce about those times back then. Great to enjoy the music, and then also to see, hey, I like that song. I didn't even know he did that song. A time of discovery. And that's my final takeaway when it comes to the movie Piece by Piece. I definitely recommend it. I don't know if it's a movie for the whole family. I think it may be general audience. Well, I'll put that information in the description if it's not already up there for you. And I will talk next time as we do some little different things here, as we do our secret tapes. Doesn't exactly fit everything on the channel, so I always kind of put it in its own little pocket right here, the secret tapes. And we'll talk again. All the best. God bless.